Hey, this is Kerry, and I am finished up my speaking event in Monroe, Louisiana, at a very nice country club up in West Monroe, and had about 50 bankers, bank officers that I spoke to. It was a really good group, but there was a bit of some conflict, a little bit of pushback, and it fostered a pretty good discussion. Um, some bank officer, specifically a COO that was there, um, thought that, he said, I don't understand. You're using the term beneficial ownership verification, and I don't understand why a certification will not work. Taking certification from our customers saying what they told us is in fact accurate. And I said, well, in fact, that will be enough for those who are not deemed high risk. But the critical thing here is who is high risk and what additional information are you going to collect based on those that are high risk. And for smaller banks, for banks under $1 billion, this is a really, really tough discussion. Many of them believe that all they'll need is a certification and they're okay. I raised the point that, do you really believe that they've gone through all this time and effort to highlight, to enforce the fifth pillar, the new CDD rule? Do you really think they've gone through all of this just so you can get a certification form filled out? Unfortunately, many of them, the answer is no, obviously, but unfortunately, many of them have been told all you need is a certification form. And that was all last year, and we're having to start to undo some of that mindset. I raised the question that if that's everything that you've done in the past, and it is everything that you will do in the future, how have you shown that you have made an effort to comply with this? And it's just it's a challenge that smaller banks are gonna face. So interesting discussion. A couple of examples uh, where someone they didn't feel good about somebody that came in to set up an account, and so they looked into it, and they ultimately did not open that account. The point is this: what the regulators want to see is that you get away from feel good, that you get away from gut feeling, and you document how you do what you do to mitigate the risk for those that are deemed high risk. At the core, that's what it is. And at the core, if you do, you can protect your organization by getting the three fundamentals correct, which are policies, procedures, and processes. If you get that correct, and you get your board aware of the challenge, and you get your board aware of the understanding of the impact of the organization, you document that, you're going to be okay. But for those that don't, which may be 98% of the people that I talk to, they may just decide that the certification's fine, and they will be right until they're wrong. And unfortunately, history has proven that when you're wrong, it's going to it's going to it's going to cause a big uproar, and it's going to generate a lot of work for consulting companies. If you look at the, um, the simple fact that the first thing that has to happen is that if somebody's identified for terrorist financing, and they had a certification that they told me that was accurate, do you believe that that is enough, that you did enough work? And the answer is obviously no. The answer is no, and you are not going to get off by saying, well, we got them to sign a certification. So it's a combination of products and services that you offer, coupled with the structure of the organization, the type of business that the organization that's looking to bank with you, the work that they do. We also talked about somebody that does farming. if you're a local farm and you sell local produce, that you may deem that not as high risk. But if you have a huge farming operation that uh, that farms sugarcane, and they send that sugarcane overseas to Cuba, well, then you need to look into that. Maybe a high risk customer, maybe fall into an import export business that you should look into. And so I'm hearing a lot of pushback. I'm hearing a lot of uh, you know, I guess they for the first time they're hearing it from me, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, trying to be the bearer of reality that'll ultimately protect these banks. But that's what I'm hearing on the road. I'm headed to Little Rock right now, and I will keep you informed how the Little Rock event goes. Thank you.